When I come back through that door, I'm still going to be champion of the world. I love you.
Matty? I feel so alone.
He needs us, mate. Big time.
But it feels like there's options between you and me.
Number one.
I just felt that I was always going to tell a boxing story at some point, and I don't know why. I'd been a fan for most of my life, and I just felt that at some point it seemed like a natural thing that I was going to explore that territory. But I wasn't sure when I began that it was going to be a story about a fighter with a head injury, because I had no idea until I started writing it that that was the path that I was going down. And then as a filmmaker, you kind of go, if I'm going to explore the terrain of boxing in movie terms, then you kind of want to tell a story that hasn't been told before.
Hey, look at me, man. Look at them for. Look at me. You should to look at all about it.
I want you to look you in the eye.
There you go.
I'll look you in the eye.
That's what I want.
There you go.
I'm gonna take your head off. It's a life changer for you. Understand that? It's a life changer.
It's not an anti-boxing film. That wasn't the point. It was just that what I found fascinating was the story of an athlete and kind of what happens to them when the crowds go away and when the doors close, because that's when the fight really begins. You've got this character who's a world champion. He's not struggling. They have a lovely home, and they seem like the perfect family. So I thought it was more of an interesting thing to take that idea of somebody who didn't necessarily need to take the fight, but does, and gets this injury. And then it became the story of recovery, and that idea of what happens when the doors close and the crowds go away, and this house, which is sort of idea that they have some kind of success. They've got a lovely house, everything becomes a prison to them, and particularly to Emma. So in a way, there's a commentary in there about being trapped by the pursuit of success, and a cautionary tale from that point of view.
What are you doing down here? What are you doing?
Training.
What for?
Fight.
In earlier versions of the film, I had Matty coming home and everybody was there for him. Everybody was doing stuff for him, helping out with the family, and I just ended up with the lead character who sat there literally doing nothing for himself. And in story terms, that's not interesting. So I had to find a way for Matty to in this shattered condition to sort of fight to get himself back on track, to sort of piece together his identity. I'd screened the film to some boxing people, and their criticism early on was that they said that the corner men wouldn't leave him, his team wouldn't leave him, but we know that it happens. It might not happen right away, but it happens eventually. Whenever there's a tragedy, there's an initial outpouring of grief and goodwill and sadness. But ultimately, with anything like that, eventually people do, little by little, they go away. And I believe that it's down to just the core people in a person's life. It comes down to your loved ones. And I think when tough things happen to anybody in life, you find out quickly who your friends are.
From the picture. My friend.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend. Emma. She's my wife. If you see her, tell her I'm looking for her.
I will, mate. Yeah.
Tell her I wanted her to come home for me.
It was easy to disappear into him, and that's when I'm the most comfortable, is when I can disappear into something and not see myself in there. People loved him. The crew loved him. I was doing scenes with actual nurses who were rehabilitating me, and they loved him. One of them said to me, "You're my favourite patient, you are." I didn't want to play the part. I found every excuse not to play the part, and you know, physical ailments, I'm too old, you know, my back hurts and I won't cope, I'll have a breakdown, how can I, you know, direct myself as well as act and all that stuff. But I think in my heart, I knew that I'd written it for myself. And it's strange to admit that, because I think you walk that line, you don't want to kind of be a show-off, you know. But I looked at other people who've directed themselves in things, and I thought they didn't seem to have a problem with it. So what's your problem? To be honest with you, I think being in the film, I might have missed one or two things from a directorial point of view, but also got some great moments in there from being so steeped inside the story. There's some, we're able to create some really beautiful moments. So it was a great experience. I highly recommend it.
This is his wedding.
Oh, yeah. That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
Thank you. Keep up with compliments, you might get lucky later.
I met Jodie and wrote the part for her. It was as simple as that. I did the similar thing with Olivia Colman for Tyrannosaur. If I get a good feeling about somebody, then I'll go away and write it for them. And she had all the qualities necessary to play Emma. What I try to create is like, we're going on a ride, and if you just let go, it'll take you. The momentum will take you. You just got to believe it and trust it, and you'll be fine. And she did that brilliantly, you know. I remember the only real note that I gave her was to not, you know, to not be scared around Matty. You know, in one of the early scenes, she was acting afraid around him, like he was going to do something wrong. And it was like, no, treat him with curiosity. It's a little bit like having an alien in the house, and find him fascinating. She has a great energy and really great instincts. So in that respect, she's a joy to direct and work with. You know, you're not trying to extract stuff, you know, or trying to get her somewhere. You're just steering it, you know, the process very gently. And how she responds is the testament to her as an actor, because she's got incredible instincts.
After this fight, I'm going to take you out somewhere nice to eat.
Sounds good.
Anywhere you want to go is your choice. You can go to Nando's. Birdie Inn.
Oh, wow.
Harvester.
You spoil me.
I think it's hard to create emotions in film. More and more, I think it's becoming quite scarce. But I remember being a kid, and you know, you'd watch The Champ, and I remember I was crying at the end, and I remember looking around the room. My mum's crying, my aunt's crying, and they're all wiping their eyes, and that had a profound effect on me, you know, thinking, this stuff can really affect people. This can really move people. And I suppose I wanted that for Journeyman. I wanted to create a story that made you feel like a human being. Like, one guy said to me, I watched the film and I immediately got home and told my wife how much I loved and appreciated her, you know? I don't want to make films that by the time you get to the foyer, you don't care about them anymore. I want you to go away and think about them, you know? That's why I make them. It's not just for entertainment. There's enough entertainment. You know, I want your soul.
I better go.
Can you knock him out quick?
I wish it was that easy.
I love you.
Good.
It's not enough to just be an actor for me. There's another part of me that wants to explore certain issues and things, and so yeah, I'll continue directing films. Yeah, I think I've got no choice. I've kind of arrived at this, and I look back at my life and go, I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here. And I suppose at times I have a love-hate relationship with this, but I think that's healthy, you know? There's something about the process of making films, of being on a film set, that really satisfies my soul. So, part of me thinks I've got no choice.